Welcome back to HoI3. I have installed the Delta patch of HPP 3.3.3 and I finished the USSR campaign on regular difficulty last night, and I think now it's time for a new campaign, testing out this new patch of HPP, and I think we should go classic here, do a Germany campaign, but I want to play it on difficult. Well, not the base game difficulties. I will leave those, but I want to try out the HPP difficulty settings. We don't have any save games, of course. If I delete the old ones, I don't think they will be compatible. So this is what we're going to do. Germany. I think I have to give the interface some time. Oh no, I have to select the correct start. Okay. We'll play as Germany. And we'll set the we'll take the first level of difficulty for all the other actions from the beginning, and then we'll see. I'm doing that not because I think I'm so great at the game, but rather because I felt in my last campaign as the USSR, felt that it was a little bit too easy at times to cover and control vast areas with a large number of countries. So I want to see if an increased difficulty has an impact on that. So before we do anything, let's do that. It doesn't look like I can. Maybe I have to wait a little. I think I have to wait a little bit so I can set the difficulty. So in that case, I apologize. I should switch on the gameplay. Sorry about that. So I haven't done anything yet. Okay, so we can't set the difficulty right away. Instead, let's take a look. I don't think, as per the patch notes, I don't think too much has changed for Germany. In terms of IC manpower, I believe the OOB is largely unchanged. I don't know, maybe there were some smaller changes to the Air Force fleet. But it shouldn't be that different from other versions. We have in production a couple of naval assets. We have in terms of technology nothing too crazy. This is what we can build. And we have medium armor. No, we don't have medium armor. We have light armor and infantry support. We have light carriers unlocked, and we have pretty much all the plane types except for heavy fighters. We don't have mountain infantry, we don't have marines, we don't have airborne infantry. Okay, no special forces. Interesting. I'm also doing this playthrough, of course, to gather feedback for the HPP mod. As you might have noticed, if you check the respective forum, there is an ongoing mod campaign, so the mod is still under active development, and that's why it's important to play the game and to gather information. So if we can't do anything else, we'll start by the usual. We will let's deal with leadership first. That's the most important thing. We have 33 diplomats that will cover us for the initial time. We need domestic spies. So we'll prioritize sending spies to deploying spies in the home country. And we will Unity is looking good. I think we'll focus on counter-espionage. Officer ratio is good, but it's not that important at the beginning. I think we will be building IC anyway before we'll expand the armed forces. Diplomacy, I'm going to cut it off for the beginning. Still have 33 diplomats. I think let's use 17 leadership for research, and in research, of course, we will focus on agriculture, manpower, because that's a long-term issue that we need to work on from the very beginning. We have to improve our industrial productivity and efficiency. And for Germany, these technologies are very important, contrary to the Soviet Union. Theories are always important. Chemical engineering would help with developing these technologies it will improve our industrial processes. I think we'll use that. Electronic engineering will help with radars and radio, and electronic computing. Could be worth it. Mechanical engineering will help with improving our industrial productivity. Also worth researching, of course. Aeronautic engineering would help with planes. I think we have to forego nuclear physics and rocket science, we just have other issues to tackle first. Naval Engineering, submarine. Let's think about what we want to do. I think we should focus on land, Air Force initially. From the patch notes, I believe submarines have been buffed a little bit, so I'm going to try subs. And for that reason, maybe worth researching submarine engineering. Maybe we should keep about 4 projects active in this tab. I was thinking 1 industrial, 1 land, 1 air, and 1 that we can switch around. So automotive, I believe that would be good for motorized infantry. For tanks and mechanized forces. Light and okay, so this is motorized infantry. Let's focus on motorized infantry. So now we have 3 active projects in this tab. Let's go with aeronautic engineering. I think that's how we should go about things. Then we have 10 more projects. We covered industry, not completely actually. Let's research supply production. This will free up IC for other projects. Energy isn't going to be a problem, but steel, oil, and rares will. I think we should research those. Oil isn't a problem, but we'll keep researching these. And we have 7 more. As for our fleet, let's look at practicals. We have a good practical in subs. No, this is a sea lane interdiction doctrine. Your practicals are here. Cruiser practical is higher than capital ship practical. No aircraft carrier practical. Subs are clearly way forward. Okay, so for technology, that would mean we should focus on cruiser and submarine related technologies. We could later, if a flotilla, if a fleet, if the naval forces become important. The IC costs of a battlecruiser versus a battleship aren't that much less, but the stats are. Actually, a battlecruiser has much more sea defense than a battleship. Well, the hull is better, of course. And the build times are lower. So I'm deciding which type of capitals to go for. I think probably we have some heavy cruisers. Some old battleships. We'll see. Maybe this isn't the most pressing issue. Maybe let's deal with Air Force first. I'm thinking fighters. What's the Air Force that we have? Close air support, light fighters, tactical bombers. Close air support, naval bombers, tactical and transports. More tactical bombers. Okay, I mostly see those air support, light fighters, and medium and naval bombers. Yeah, I think we can do that. We can focus on light plane types and medium bombers, and then transports if we need them for airborne infantry. So in that sense, let's focus on the fighter defense doctrine and these two doctrine trees. And in terms of land, there isn't really anything too pressing right now. Fighters, let's Research the next level here. Heavy bombers. No, I don't think we'll pursue that for the moment. What do we have? We have 5 projects left. We'll use one project in infantry. Those are technologies that are easy to research. I'll just switch them around. Although there are a couple more over here. Let's use two projects in here. We could research mountain and marine infantry. Maybe we should research mountain infantry. Let's use 3 projects in here, and then we have 2 left. We'll use one for armor. Let's research medium armor, maybe. Let's get started with motorized infantry. Improving these. And then we have one more project. Submarine is more or less current except for the engines. Cruisers are pretty good. Cruiser engines anyway. The armament could use some improvement. That means we won't be researching anything in terms of capital ships. I think we'll go with this for the first, for the initial period. Now production, I think we should be building IC as much as possible. We have 46 IC to spare. Just build more. Do we want a rocket test site or a nuclear facility? I don't think so. Not before we've built up the industrial base that we actually need. And I don't want to be building I don't want to be expanding my army. Let's prioritize production. Now, as for diplomacy, that's always a bit tricky. We need oil, rares, and metal in that order of priorities. Let's unpause. Now let's get some trade deals in. I think we should be trading. Need to set up some trade deals. So we need oil. The United Kingdom produces a lot of oil. The Americans have accepted that we sell supplies to them. They'll come in handy later because that's where we can get more trade deals with them. Let's try the Soviet Union again. Soviet Union accepts to sell rares. And we set, okay, now we can set the difficulties. This wasn't possible before. I said that I want to, because this is a new patch to the HPP mod. This is version 3.3.3, and just yesterday the Delta patch came out, and that's why I'm playing a classic Germany game, because I want to try out the mod and give feedback on the balance. And because the previous campaign, the USSR campaign, was, in my opinion, a bit too easy in the sense, I'm certainly not the best Hearts of Iron 3 player, but I thought it was a bit unrealistic how much territory I was able to control and defend as the Red Army. I thought it should be a bit more difficult, so I think this playthrough as Germany, I want to play it on the first level of difficulty. So we have hard AI difficulty, very hard, normal. Suppose we're on normal right now. And here we can give the difficulty bonuses to individual factions. So let's give the hard difficulty to the, I think this hard AI and hard AI. I think we'll just pick this one. I think this should give the bonuses to both the Allies and the Comintern, and not to our faction. Okay. As far as I'm aware, the bonuses are buffs to national unity, to officer ratio, to supply consumption, to organization regain rate, and things of that sort. So it isn't just a straight buff to manpower or IC or things like that. It's more subtle, I think. And it's also not a buff to just more units or more doom stacks or anything like that. It's just more difficult combat and some more subtle bonuses. Let's see if we can conclude a few more trade deals. Who's willing to sell some oil? Venezuela has always been a good source for oil. How about Persia? And let's do something else. First, let's get rid of the difficulty settings. And let's open the trade decisions. This way we can instruct the AI to do the trading for us. Romania accepts to sell crude oil, as does Persia and Venezuela. Now let's instruct the AI so we don't have to do all of that ourselves. Prohibit metal exports, prohibit rare earths exports, prohibit oil exports. Let's allow fuel supply and energy. And let's tell the AI to increase all of these stockpiles, increase metal, increase rares, and increase oil. And then automate trade. And then hide trade decisions. And here we go. I'm also interested in seeing what happened to the stability, because it used to be the case that the game was a bit unstable in the beginning, in the first 4 or 5 years of the game. So I'm curious to see whether that has improved. And then we have a couple of messages. Let's deal with the doctrines first. Infantry Doctrine determines the tactics used by our infantry proponents of firepower focus suggested by increasing the amount of heavy weaponry in our infantry units. We can focus more firepower on the enemy. The shock focus doctrine says that the enemy should be overwhelmed by powerful direct assaults by our men. Infiltration and maneuver, on the other hand, suggests that soldiers should use their environment to their advantage. I think the German path is either shock or firepower. Let's check. Yeah, it's firepower, and I think we will stay with that. And then for the armor doctrine, we'll stay with the armor Schwerpunkt concept. The amount of rare materials that we have stockpiled all over our nation is simply too much. We have problems providing efficient storage for it. Okay, so we get a penalty, and the same happens to coal, but hopefully the AI will start selling energy. If not, we'll just give the instruction to do so. In the time we wait, we can start reorganizing the Air Force. The Empire of Japan has quietly taken steps to align themselves to the Axis. This may cause them to drift towards our faction. It's a good point. We should think early about using spies and diplomats to exert influence. And there was another message before, and now this one. France and Spain are recruiting special forces in their colonies. So if everything goes according to plan, we will be able to deal with France. We'll reel Italy into the Axis. We should probably... I don't want to do any experiments. Like, at one time I would like to see if I can get Poland into the Axis without having to fight them. But I don't think this is the right time to do that. But I think we should think about using diplomacy and espionage to secure the Balkan for the Axis. If we have to go to war, we can do that, but if we don't have to, that would also be nice. Let's check out Yugoslavia is drifting towards the Axis, and Hungary. What about Lithuania? Romania is drifting towards the Allies. Let's work on Hungary first. Influence this nation, except it means we need to assign two units of leadership. How is we don't yet have 10 spies at home. Let's influence Hungary for a bit and then go back to training spies. Operational Doctrine. I think our Operational Doctrine with Blitzkrieg. We go Classic here. And now we have a 15% penalty on metal storage. That's okay. We have more air fleets here. These are the medium bombers. And we can start fighting an air force. Soviet Union, of course, is struggling with political turmoil. And in the United States, the Great Depression is beginning to fade. And we have finished a cruiser, a heavy cruiser, and another one. Oh no, this was the one, okay. The transports are fine, let's move them away. We've decided to build close air support, medium bombers, and light fighters. Focus on light planes, basically. What do we have in here? That's medium bombers. I usually like to go with air fleets of 4 units. We'll build up accordingly. Okay, so we have a total of 8 medium bombers, 3 fighter wings, 5 close air support wings, and 2 wings of naval bombers. I think that's all the planes we have. So that basically means three more light bombers, then we have 2 air fleets of 4 wings, 5 more fighters, and we have 2 air fleets of 4 wings, and for naval bombers as well, 6 more units, and then we have 2 air fleets of 4 wings each. And I think then we'll probably mostly build fighters, and maybe close air support, and some naval bombers will have a low priority. Let's look at production. An additional submarine flotilla will be ready, some destroyers, and the rest is all IC. I think we should get started with the first planes, this way we can build up our practical. Let's go with 1 air fleet of fighters, with 1 wing of fighters, I mean. And the Republic of China has taken steps to align itself with the Axis. Let's build 1 light fighter wing. Shibei Sanma as well as aligning itself with the Axis. The Marine flotilla is ready. I'm always a bit skeptical with subs. I think it's better to operate them in single flotillas, but I will have to try it out because the subs have been changed. I think their visibility has been changed, so hopefully they don't die as quickly as they used to. But I think in previous versions of HPP it was better to operate them in separate flotillas rather than in groups like this. But I think it's more important to train up spies, so stop influencing Hungary. Let's instead train some spies. For my armed forces, I think I want to focus on infantry mostly and use a few dedicated armor divisions. I want to see if it works. I mean, Germany by the beginning of the war only had about a handful of armor divisions. It was, I would say, somewhere between 7 and 10 armor divisions. Pretty sure it wasn't more than 10. So I want to see if that works, if I can restrict myself to about 10 armor divisions before Barbarossa. Not more than that. And use infantry for the rest. And when I'm talking armor, I'm talking armor, medium armor plus motorized infantry. One regiment of medium armor and 2 regiments of motorized infantry. It's also interesting to note with the Delta patch of HPP 3.3.3, the 5 brigade limit has been reintroduced. So unlike in previous versions of the mod, we can now add a 5th regiment or subunit to the division. So I think I see something like, I'm using light armor, but I really need this, and then maybe, of course, motorized support, and then tank destroyers. I think that's what I will put in. Look at the division templates might have been changed. Adjusting some of these templates. Infantry should be 3 regiments always. We'll leave it like this. I will adjust these once I have these units unlocked. How is it that... Let's check on the trades that the AI is doing for me. We're importing rares from the Soviet Union, that works. And we're selling supplies to the Soviet Union. Selling energy. Importing oil. We're not importing metal. That's a problem. So let's go... Oh, we have decisions. Reconstruct the Schlesien and the Schleswig-Holstein. Swedish metal to Germany. Let's do that. Let's introduce the prepare for war decision. And let's, I think those are historical decisions, so I'm going to go with them. Let's get the trade decisions. So we're now trading metal with Germany, with Sweden. This is historical. We will prepare for war, and we should also reoccupy the Rhineland. And we're reconstructing the Schleswig-Holstein, following Germany's signing of the Anglo-German Naval Agreement concerning modernized battleship Schleswig-Holstein's anti-aircraft guns and engines. Modernizing a capital ship requires extensive time and effort, and the ship won't be available for combat duty until reconstruction is completed. In game terms, the ship will be removed from the map, and its modernized version will be placed into production. The initial IC cost and completion time will be changed by the game end. And the same thing is going to happen to the Schlesian. And now let's get some more increased metal stockpile. This obviously costs us some money. Hopefully we can make it up by selling supplies and fuel maybe. Currently exporting supplies and energy only. Okay, so we get some additional metal from this decision. Lose some money and energy. And in the production queue we now have these two battleships for reconstruction. And we're building our first fighter wing. And we're finishing one of the destroyer flotillas that was already in production queue from the beginning. Now let's reoccupy the Rhineland. I'm not sure exactly where it happened or which provinces trigger that event in the game. Now is probably a good time to start looking at our forces. The good thing about the German Europe battle is that it's pretty clean. If you play as the Soviet Union, you will have noticed that it's a gigantic mess. Half of the divisions follow sort of a standard OB, and the other half is just chaos. You would have cavalry mixed with mountain brigades, or garrison mixed with engineers and marines, things like that. We have 29th and the 16th Infantry Division, which have a motorized support regiment, or a support brigade, I should say. I think we need to tell the AI to sell more energy. Wants to make more money. Reduce energy stockpile. going to have to rename some units so I can find them quickly when I need to. Roman numerals look cool, but going with something I can read quickly later in the game. I'll use some abbreviations, and I will standardize. These will be the first F-comp, which means ground attack. Second Earth-comp. I will call these Jagdgeschwader to fight the interceptors. These will be Sturzkampf, shortened. And then we have the naval bombers. I'm not sure what they were actually called in the German Air Force. I think they might have been called Sea Bomber, but I'm not sure. And then we have transports. Let's call them first Lufttransport. So this way I can quickly identify my units. So did moving these divisions. Oh, we have better laws, so we should enact. We have the war economy. Plus 25% of IC, less money, more consumer goods that we need, and some penalty to manpower, as far as I can understand. And then the mobilization. Where is this? Conscription law. Even less money. Will not activate this because right now we're not training any units, so it's not worth to get this this penalty. Okay, now with the increased IC, we aren't really using all of it. So I don't think it's worthwhile to build more ships because we don't really have good technologies right away anyway. So it doesn't make, and ships for the most part don't upgrade very well. At least not the hardware. Only destroyers really do. So I think we'll just be building more IC. many units of IC are we talking about? That's 7. Very hard to count because they don't have individual names, but I think that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, something like 30 units of IC. Let's just add 3 more for good measure. Unpopular economic laws, ruling party support drops. We're now up to 9 domestic spies. We're still catching some spies, but it's not as bad as it used to be. So let's put some spies into supporting the ruling party. It's very unethical. It's also just a game. The opposition is forming a coalition. 2 opposition parties, the Fraternal Autocrats and the Social Conservatives, are about to form a new coalition to increase their strength. We can intervene and disorganize them, but they will gain popularity. Or we can play them against each other. So who are we talking about? Die Deutsche Volkspartei. And who else is it? The Fraternal Autocrats. The Deutsche Volkspartei is a bit too strong, so let's actually strengthen the Fraternal Autocrats. Italy, of course, is at war with Ethiopia, but it seems like they are doing okay. And otherwise, not much is going on. Let's check in on our trading. We're importing 46 units of rares. Yeah, I still hasn't decided to import metal, or wasn't able to get a deal. We're only exporting. Why are we importing supplies? Let's cancel this. And let's make sure that I instructed the AI correctly. Okay, and we reoccupy the Rhineland. Probably took some time until all the divisions arrived. Gives us some manpower, gives us some money, and some unity, and of course some threat and damage to relationships. I'm going to tell the AI to reduce the supply stockpile. We are researching, of course, improvements in terms of rares and metal production, and the Spanish Civil War takes place. This is something that I found quite odd. In the last campaign, CUSSR, there was never actually a civil war. And then there is the flavor text. In early 1936, after the electoral victory of the socialists, popular demands for social equality evolved into a virtual revolution against the clergy, landowners, and monarchists. Mobs attacked churches and tried to collectivize farms. Unions started strikes, and anarchists assassinated enemies of the people. The newly installed government was unable to restore order. The Spanish army joined the conservatives and Catholics to put down the social revolution, and they thus styled themselves the nationalists. The governments facing an army rebellion styled themselves Republicans and decided to fight, joining in with the forces of revolution. The Spanish Civil War had begun. Many countries like Germany, Italy, and the Soviet Union intervened with forces in the conflict. We can enact great industrial power. I think that's because of the reoccupation of the Rhineland. I think we should do that. It gives us some 2 additional leaderships from 11 up to 13. Let's check what we need for the next level. Total IC of 350. This will take a while. So we're now building around 30. I think we can get to 180 probably around the end of the year. And then with some research, expanding our IC further, maybe we can get across 200 by... Well, I think we'll keep building IC probably until mid-1937. Let's invest the additional IC as soon as we get it. I think the date needs to tick over. Correct. Okay, so I don't think we'll increase research. Instead, we will let's go back with the spies to 2. Let's lock this. Let's put this to 17, and then we have 2 in diplomacy. And we can use that to influence some countries. Portugal would be nice, but it's not most important. So let's go back to what I cancelled. Influencing Hungary, but maybe some sort of event gave this to me. In that case, I'm inclined to influence Romania. That would actually be probably the most useful. But because we've just sent off, I guess the AI just sent off a diplomat for some trades. Can't do that, so I'm gonna have to wait. And in the United Kingdom, King George V dies. King George V of the United Kingdom passed away on January 20, 1936. King George was an active king on both political and social economic fronts. The Irish Free State was set up under his rule in 1922, and he played a conciliatory role during the 1926 general strike. Perhaps the most noteworthy legislation enacted under his reign was the Statute of Westminster in 1931, which made it possible for Dominion parliaments to pass their own laws without royal assent from London. The Commonwealth remained linked through common allegiance to the crown, and King George V was succeeded by his son Edward VIII. And Spain, the Spanish state that is the nationalist, starts recruiting Gumiers, and the Soviet Union decides to intervene in the Spanish Civil War in early 1936 after the electoral victory of the socialists. Popular demands for social equality involved into a virtual revolution against the clergy, landowners, and monarchists. Mobs attacked churches and tried to collectivize farms. Unions started strikes, and the anarchists assassinated enemies of the people, etc., etc. We already read this. I think now we should have a decision to intervene ourselves in the Spanish Civil War. Of course, on behalf of the nationalists, we lose money, supplies, and some manpower. We lose some neutrality. Yeah, I think we should do that. Let's just stay classical here. And then, do we have any other decisions that we can take? No, we cannot. I think, yeah, where the AI finally started buying some metal. And the Spanish state is aligning itself with the Axis. Now we can start influencing Romania. Let's do that. United Kingdom decides to sign the sign the treaty out of the Second London Conference. Japan declines, and so does Kingdom of Italy, which of course puts them at odds with the United Kingdom and France, the Western Allies. Let's check in on our production. First wing of light fighters will be ready in about 2 months. And most of the IC will be ready by November. I think we can add some more IC because we're overproducing supplies. Or we could start building up our air force further. United Kingdom decides to reconstruct the HMS Valiant as a response to Italy and Japan not agreeing to limiting their naval forces, and Japan in turn decides to upgun the IJN Kuma. Poland cancels a trade agreement, and Japan decides to upgun the IJN Mogami as well. And we advance agricultural research, giving us more manpower. We're going to need this. Let's take care of these technologies. They're now ahead of time. We have 2 research projects that we can reassign. Probably smart to start researching. Let's use one here, improving our support brigades, and let's use one here. That means we still don't invest anything in submarines. It's going to end next. Industrial production. I think we'll keep researching those. I will take it as we go. Probably not a bad idea to focus on infantry, improving our industrial production. IC plus 10%. Okay, so this is now ahead of time. In bombers there is nothing we can research, nor in fighters. It would be nice to get an additional theory in. On the other hand, we already have 4 projects here. Yeah, I think then we'll just improve our land forces. Air could use some love, to be honest. There isn't a single active research project in air doctrines. There is one here, fighters. Yeah, would be good to get one more project in here. We can't do everything. And the United Kingdom decides to reconstruct Queen Elizabeth. And we can break a non-aggression pact with Poland. So for the first time we have a positive balance in terms of rares, but we're still using more metal than we are able to get in. We are influencing Romania. Why isn't Romania in the Balkans? I think that's where they should be. Switzerland is drifting towards Axis for now. About the Dutch are. Italy is drifting towards the Allies. Might have to do something about that. Italy reconstructs the Reggio Maria Cagliari, and Edward VIII abdicates, only briefly after he took the throne. And we are improving the truck engine, preparing for motorized infantry. And Italy also decides to reconstruct the Andrea Doria. Truck engine is ahead of time. I think we will keep this project in armor. Let's research medium tank technologies. This will take a while. That's a difficult research project, indicated by this red number here. And Italy decides to intervene in the Spanish Civil War, which we can actually take a look at. I think the Republic is already on the retreat, pretty much everywhere. They're split up into separate pockets. Of course, nothing is yet decided. Send volunteers to Spain. A large number of volunteers gathered in our capital to help the nationalists in the Civil War of Spain. Do we want to send them? We can't help right now. This would improve our neutrality. Sell them some equipment, that should be enough for now. They need all the help they could get. I think historically, probably the third option would have been the correct one. And then we get a bonus on manpower. So yes, let's go with the third option. Our first fighter wing will soon be ready. The way I see it, we will have about 10 armor divisions. By the time we attack Poland, and armor divisions will probably look something like I think we'll use these light armor divisions. Then later in the war, we can consider upgrading one or even both regiments to medium armor, or take out the medium armor regiment and replace it with motorized infantry, and just create more armor divisions. Yeah, I want to go a path of frugality, so to say, and to try to go as lightly and as fast as possible. And also, of course, these divisions consume less fuel and less supplies than if I were to go with 2 armor regiments and mechanized infantry instead of motorized. With these recent bonuses, we're now at a 204 combined IC. For the next level in our international status, we need 350. And we are wasting IC on... Oh, we had some dissent, I think. Yeah, I will take care of this. We are gathering some spies. We could... Let's see, Austria... Austria is moving towards the Allies, and Italy is being influenced by the Allies. We could send spies to Austria to strengthen our own party, which will make it easier to annex them later. And I don't think, or we could try to steal technology from the United Kingdom, but that's expensive, and there's a lot of luck involved. We might steal technologies that we don't really need. Well, I give the UK a very low priority. We'll give Austria a higher priority, and we'll support our party in Austria. And let's see if we can maybe steal some technology from France and from the Soviet Union. Now we'll now prioritize these. Small arms advance and light cruiser main armament advance. Now for infantry, we will switch over to the other technologies that we need to research, which are offensive support weapons and anti-tank weapons. And we improved the single-engine aircraft armament. And we can develop heavy fighters. And I think we should. On the other hand, this is a 1937 technology, and I don't think we'll be building them right away, so instead we are going to start an additional research project in air doctrines. Let's research here. There are other technologies that will soon finish up. Spanish Republic receives volunteers from Colombia, and we have improved rare materials refining techniques, which should help some, and steel production. And Italy stopped buying fuel. And these two industrial technologies are now ahead of time. There isn't anything we can research in here, so we could open one project in capitals. Let's push ahead on the submarines. Maybe start one project in capitals. Capital ship main armament. Yeah, I think we can accept having one project cap. We're importing 23 units. Metal, that's not very much. However, we are improving our rare stockpile again. And we're selling a lot of energy. And the first fighter air wing is ready. Let's add 2 more to the production queue. And Japan decides to reconstruct the IGN-HE. I believe that was a battle cruiser. Yep. And we have developed mounted infantry. Let's research the man-portable anti-tank weapons. Improve those. This means that we now can, we now could train mountain infantry. Let's see if I can organize a medal deal. Because the AI seems incapable of doing it. Losing a lot of money. We're not selling that much. Some small quantities of supplies and energy to smaller European nations. Luxembourg is buying a lot of energy. Unfortunately, no major is buying their supplies from us, which isn't all that surprising, because majors usually don't have problems producing enough supplies. I see that the school of spies has been used. We're increasing the number of spies a little bit. I think the Soviet Union caught one. They're using counter-espionage. French Republic isn't using counter-espionage. And in Austria, we are supporting our party. What's going on with Italy? We're still drifting towards the Allies a little bit. Chemical engineering will soon be ready. We're still not importing a lot of metal. There's this trade that I organized from Mexico. Let's see if I can get another trade deal. This is a problem of HoI3. You can't trade with nations that don't have a port on their own, which I personally think is crazy. But it is what it is. Hungary is unwilling to sell metal. Maybe harder than it looks to get all this metal. How about China? No, not energy. China would be willing to sell metal. Let's see it. No more oil from Romania. It's too bad. Research next level in chemical engineering. Keep researching it. Unity is looking good. Officer ratio, of course, is unchanged as long as we don't deploy new units. Manpower is growing also, of course, we're not really using it. We're losing a lot of money. buy stuff for 22 units of money and sell for 9 units. And then we have some negative effects from the war economy and from trade deals with China and Sweden. We could use some additional convoys. Maybe that's an idea for production. About 4 more months and then we get a lot of additional IC. I think it should be in the range of about 35 IC. And we have improved heavy artillery and submarine engineering. And Yemen couldn't gather the convoys to buy energy from us. So what's going on? So okay, so submarine engineering is theory, I believe. Yeah, we'll keep researching that. As I said, I want to test out the new version of the mod, the Delta patch, and apparently subs have been buffed a little bit. I want to see if that works out, and I'll keep researching those. So I'll play a sub game. And then the other thing was heavy artillery guns. Right. Let's take this off. I'm inclined to research Arctic warfare equipment. However, I will soon freeze some research projects here, so instead let's check in on Air Force and fighters and bombers. We have one extra project. Probably should get started on these air doctrines. Yep, let's put it into air doctrines. Keep losing some oil trades with Australia, with Romania. We're still not importing enough metal. We're still losing money. Let's see if we can get some metal from Belgium. And we have improved industrial efficiency, and it looks like for the moment we don't have anything to research in industry for at least half a year or so. One additional research project. Two in armor, 3 in infantry, 2 in escorts. I think it should probably be more at this point. 1 in capitals. Nothing going on in bombers and fighters. Industry is fine. Secrets are all locked at this point. A German nuclear weapon would be kind of tempting, but it's too expensive, I think. And given the fact that we've set the AI on hard, probably focus on more useful ideas in the short term. Maybe special forces. We're definitely going to use mountain troops, as many as we can. Yeah, I think we should do that. And we're improving mobile warfare. It will help us with motorized infantry, which I think will be the mainstay of the German armor divisions that I see. And we're improving aeronautic engineering. This will help us with better planes. I'm going to have to take a very quick break. I'll be right back. Right, let's move along here. Summer of 1936, we'll soon get the message about the Olympic Games that were held in Berlin in 1936. Check in on our forces again. Probably get started with some close air support wings. Or cancels another trade deal. We do have a motorized infantry division here. And even some light armor. Let's train a motorized support brigade for this motorized infantry. And the Olympic Games. The 1936 Summer Olympics took place in Berlin, Germany from August 1st to August 16 by removing signs stating Jews not wanted and similar slogans from the city's main tourist attractions. The Nazi Party tried to downplay its radical ideology for the eyes of the world. At the same time, only members of the Aryan race were allowed to compete for Germany. The 4 gold medals won by the black American athlete Jesse Owens were a private embarrassment for Hitler, although the Berlin crowds enthusiastically cheered Owens' victories. The Berlin Olympics were attended by 49 nations in spite of calls for a boycott because of Nazi anti-Semitism. The only country to institute a boycott was Spain. The internationally isolated Soviet Union did not participate either. At least we won the most gold medals, right? Okay, so that improves relations a little bit internationally. Speaking of Spain, yeah, they're on the retreat. They've lost all the ports that they held in the north. In the south, they are still split. And currently, they control all 4 ports in southern Spain. The money situation seems to be improving. We're still looking at a deficit in terms of metal. French Republic sends volunteers. And we're finally high enough in rares that we get penalty in it again. And the regime in Greece folds. Let's see if we can send more volunteers to Spain. No, I don't think so. Anschluss will take place later. Let's add 1 motorized support division, support brigade for motorized infantry. And another research project is finished, armored cars. It's in armor, and that's now ahead of time. There isn't anything to research right here. We have 3 active projects in air doctrines. Land is served well. think we are researching the 2 projects we can. So maybe it's time for naval or another theory. By organizations would be worthwhile. Or better armor for the capitals. If we research this will take until February 15. About capitals. January 25, we'll finish next. HoI3 Defense Doctrine. I think we're going with better ship armor. And then supplies will be the next after that. Some smugglers caught. That usually has an effect on our relationship with a certain country. If we send the cargo back, we improve relations between Saudi Arabia and Germany. The money would be nice, but Saudi Arabia could come in handy later. And apparently we were making money for the first time in a long while. Soviet Union cancels a trade agreement for 12 rares. Rares look good. Problem is metal still, and we're not having a lot of diplomats at the moment. I'll actually switch over leadership from espionage to diplomacy until we have about 20 to 30 diplomats. Let's check in on the... Oh, okay, so Austria is dealing with our spies. French are increasing their counter-espionage. Don't know what this Liberty statue here means. It just appeared. We're trying to steal technology from France. Soviet Union probably invested heavily in counter-espionage, so they killed off all our spies, as did the United Kingdom. I clicked outside of the game, hopefully I didn't crash it. Nope. So far, the game seems to be pretty stable. I think I had a lot more crashes in the previous playthrough as the USSR. To taking off this auto-assign tick mark, I want to be in control of the leaders. Panama stops buying energy from us. And we have improved our submarine technologies in terms of sonar and detection equipment, which means that we can switch this research over to, I suppose, submarine engines, and then we'll start improving the destroyers. Cruiser light armament. The light cruiser armament, I apologize. Will be ready soon. Cruiser armor could use a buff. I think our focus will be on destroyers. Overall, maybe. Or easier to build. Soviet Union cancels an agreement for rares. And Luxembourg for energy. Let's go back to training spies. No more energy for the Dominican Republic. And no rares from Italy. I'm mostly worried about metal. Let's see if I can help out the AI. Let's see, why aren't we buying metal from the United States? We are already buying rares from them. And we've improved anti-tank guns and medium tank chassis. And Belgium cancels an oil trade. Let's see. Anti-tank guns are now ahead of time. We'll improve our supply organization. And we'll keep researching medium tanks. For an additional, one additional level, I think. And we finished, I think, a destroyer flotilla, yeah. Interesting that I can't deploy to the Baltic fleet, because it isn't connected to the mainland. I'll just deploy to the Kriegsmarine. So we've finished a destroyer flotilla. I think we should keep building submarines. And maybe one wing of close air support. Looks like the Americans didn't accept my trade offer for metal. Nope, doesn't look like it. Let's try this again. Japan stops exporting rares. And offensive support weapons are ahead of time. Nothing to do in terms of Air Force or industry. An additional theory would be nice. My favorites are electronic engineering, mechanical engineering. Not sure about naval engineering. Not sure about jets. There's nothing to do in terms of land warfare. Naval. Sea lane interdiction is our strong suit. Maybe capital ship crew training. Or some Air Force doctrines. I think we should go for Air Force. Army aviation is close air support, I think, for the most part. No, it's actually across all types of aircraft. The other issue is we do have naval bombers, but we have almost no we don't have any doctrines. Maybe we should at least unlock the doctrines. I think this is what we're going to do. I made a couple of mistakes in Soviet Union Let's Play, particularly in the area of research. I hope that's why I'm being a bit systematic about research here. Okay, more interceptors already. We can start with the second air fleet of interceptors. They will be second Jaeger. And we are wasting IC. How is that? Okay, let's check on technology. Would it make sense to get started on an additional battleship? No, I don't think so. I think first we need to bring armor and main armament up to the current state of technology. How about... why don't we check what can we actually upgrade in submarines? think submarines can be upgraded. The engine can't be upgraded. I think whatever is black cannot be upgraded. So actually, yeah, then in this case we will cancel this production. We will not build submarines until we have more higher technology level. How about like cruisers? Main armament doesn't upgrade. Armor and engine doesn't upgrade either. We should wait also until we improve our armament. With fighters it's much better, with light aircraft. Maybe even with medium aircraft. So maybe instead of ships we should be building planes. Everything upgrades with aircraft, as far as I can tell. Yep, so I think it makes sense to build Air Force instead of ships. Then in that case, let's see. We have 2 air fleets of tactical bombers. We don't have a lot of naval bombers. Why don't we add 1 wing of naval bombers? Soon we'll get a lot of additional IC. I think then we can add an additional batch of IC and some more planes as well. We're improving artillery training. It's an infantry technology, I think. No, it's a land doctrine. So let's put this into Air Force training, Air Force doctrines, Army aviation. These technologies are more or less specific to medium bombers. But I've never, I think, on this really focused on light bombers. I don't know, I like the tactical bomber, so let's focus on independent Air Force doctrine. Strengthen that for the moment. Volunteers from the Empire of Japan fight in Spain, although I don't think national Spain needs help really. They've refused the Republic's territory very much. They only control 3 ports. They've been eliminated west of Gibraltar. Coal storing problems are removed. I think we're selling a lot of coal. That's nice. Metal storing problems have been resolved, but because we're still not importing metal, that is a big problem. I'm going to have to try improving light cruiser main armament and man-portable anti-tank weapons. We'll deal with that momentarily. First, let's propose the anti-commitment pact. It's not that urgent. Does it help? I will save this for later. First, we really need to take care of the metal situation. But it already exhausted the trade decisions. It doesn't allow us to tell the AI again to increase the metal stockpile, so I'm gonna have to try and do it myself. So now the probability of the Americans accepting the deal has increased from likely to very likely. Let's see if this works. Yep, there you have, accepted now. We'll try to get another deal as soon as possible. Man-portable anti-tank weapons are ahead of time. Let's keep one project going on here. I think it would be smart to research Arctic equipment. And then we have one additional project. We have only one project going on in armor. About escorts. Let's improve either cruiser armor or destroyer engines. Let's pick cruiser armor because that's more difficult to research. I think the money problem has been solved. We're actually making almost 6 units of money per day. In 1 month, I have a lot of IC available. This will be a problem also because, of course, it'll increase our consumption of metal and rares and all these things. Now we have a positive metal. Let's see if we can get more metal. Austria would sell metal, but it's just a maybe. Looks like they have accepted. I'm going to help the AI because the AI had a very tough time. Soviet Union. They have a lot of metal to sell. The number next to traded for switches to 25, they will have accepted. They might not have. Yemen tries to buy energy from us, but they usually don't have enough convoys. It looks like they have accepted. Yep. So now we're looking at a better deal. We'll wait for a little bit and then we'll buy some more from the Soviet Union. Because then over time we'll pay less, of course. The Berlin-Rome axis we will accept. We'll go the traditional way. And we form the axis. How are we doing in terms of spies? France is increasing their efforts to fight our spies. French are catching our spies. I don't think we're training enough to really deal with a country that actively fights our spies. We got a whole bunch of IC in just a few days. Also, our battleships are soon upgraded. They will return to the fleet by mid-November. And we can redesign the Mountain Infantry Division. I want to have 3 regiments of infantry, 1 support brigade, and then with the change in terms of numbers of subordinate units to a division, we can now have 5 subunits. I don't know if this is already the case yet. I think. Yeah, it's not something that you need to research actively, as opposed to the vanilla game. You can just design divisions however you like from the beginning. Let's see if there are any other odd divisions. Yep, there are. I don't have Marines research yet. I'll change them once I do. Don't have these researched either. Those are all for later. I think my additional IC is ready. Yep. And Thailand decides to hold early elections. Now let's deploy the IC. So Germany is almost 100% of infrastructure in all provinces. So some of the cities are already built up completely. I'm going with reality. I don't want to game this system too much by building IC where the United Kingdom strategic bombers can never reach them. Or, well, only later. Hamburg is an industrial city, of course. Okay. That frees up a lot of IC, and then of course it will be free up more once it will be fully constructed, because I think they only start out at basically 0, so they need to be built up first. Right, so how much time do they need to build? 200 days. So we're not building tanks yet. How about infantry? 113 days, we can wait with those. Actually, historically, the build-up of the Wehrmacht was more or less continuous, so why don't we do it like this? We'll of course build them as reserves. That's 12 additional infantry divisions. It should be somewhat historical. That still leaves us with 43 in IC, so I think we'll add some more IC. 10 more. And then we're left with 5. We'll use that for additional planes. Let's go with an additional wing of fighters. Capital ship main armament. Advance, yes, we were researching that. Should probably keep researching it. And we're also improving the fighter defense doctrine. Let's switch this over to Army Aviation Doctrine. Let's check in on Spain. Yep, getting their territory reduced further. Italy manages to pop at Ethiopia. Another addition or a change in Delta patch is actually let me pull this information up. So the battleships finish up with their upgrades. Let me pull up the updates. One very interesting update, of course, is the improved build scripts for the AI. So the AI will build better divisions. And we are wasting IC. Let's build more IC. 21. Let's build 5 more. And let's build more fighters. I believe so. Let's see, we have one wing in production. And we have... Yeah, we need... Yeah, okay. So with the 2 wings that we have in production now, we'll be able to complete the second fighter air fleet. We need 3 more light bombers, one of which is in production. Okay. Right, so I wanted to pull up the basically the changes to the Delta patch. Embassy, the Republic of China chooses in the Xi'an incident we need to unite against the common threat for now. So it looks like they are having some issues that some Chinese nations want to unite against together. Sounds perfectly reasonable to me. Now for the changes. The major changes was the 5 brigade limit. It was changed, I already explained that. Some more industrial capacity. I'm going to slap down IC in the cities first, then around the cities. Rebalanced armor and piercing. Okay, so there are some changes to armor and piercing values. A lot of the ports were reworked because they caused some of the stability issues. Support brigades need more manpower to bring them in line with what happened in reality. The support brigades were actually a lot bigger than they were in the Charlie patch. I think there were only like 3,000 people. In reality, there would be somewhere around 5,000 people, or between 4,000 and 5,000. Garrisons were improved, were buffed. They were a bit faster. Mechanized infantry is tougher. Build costs of militia garrisons and mechanized infantry were adjusted. And this doesn't make sense. I think I'm going to have to write down a couple of things that I don't like. This message here. Bring those up in the forums. Because we had a message that the Axis was formed basically between Germany and Italy, and now, but they haven't officially joined the Axis. That's a bit ugly. Maybe this can be modded so it looks a bit nicer in terms of when the messages appear. Okay. And we are wasting IC. We're up to a 222 IC. That's very nice to see. Let's see, would it make sense to get started with a cruiser? No, I don't think so. Well, maybe with a... No, I don't think so. I think it should be IC and air assets. So 5 more IC. Yeah, let's go for it. How long will they take? August. Okay. I think after that we'll probably... We'll see how much IC we end up with. I don't think there will be too much. Let's add some... some more light bombers. A motorized support brigade is ready, so attached to this motorized infantry. Chemical research advanced. That's in theory. Yeah, we'll keep researching that because this deals with some of our issues in terms of raw materials. Chemical engineering is essential to developing new materials, weapons, and industrial processes. Normally, it is increased as we research specific technologies. However, if we set teams to look at general science and technology in this area, their research will improve our theory and speed up other research projects. Unfortunately, it doesn't explicitly say what exactly is happening. I was trying to see the I was looking at this. So chemical engineering. This is weird. Symbol is for chemical engineering, but it says sea lane interdiction doctrine. It doesn't make too much sense. Anyway. And we're again wasting IC. Okay, we will just add more planes to the production queue. Let's see, we have two... building up the second air fleet of interceptors. We have let's see, 2 wings of interceptors, 1 wing of light bombers. Three. That's 2. Okay, and then there is 1 extra in here, some 1 extra one, and then we'll have 2 air fleets of light bombers. Okay. So I'm going to finish the year 1936, just a couple of days, and then I'll take a break. I need to eat something, and I'll be back with the stream in about 45 minutes to an hour, roughly. And continue this campaign. But I feel I'm getting hungry. I have to do something about that. And we're still wasting IC. Let's add another air wing of naval bombers so we can bring this air fleet up to speed. And we have stolen some French blueprints, but Naval Engineering research, so probably a level that we already have. It's very unfortunate. Speaking of which, they have stopped them killing our spies, as have the Austrians. Okay, we'll leave it as it is. Lithuania cancels a trade agreement for energy, and we are again on a deficit in terms of metal, which means we need to buy more metal. And we get more metal from the United States. Let's see if we can get 20. This, of course, thanks to the IC that we're deploying. Looks like they have accepted. We're back in the green. And we're still building up this IC that we have deployed, so our total IC will still increase. We actually might crack the 350 IC barrier that we need to improve our status and thus our leadership, or more research, of course, and more spies. And we are improving submarines. I will keep researching that, I think. It's the current range on submarines. (2,750 kilometers). I think it's pretty much the Type 2 represented, so we need to do a lot better, of course. Hey, Spooderman. Yeah, well, I've learned my lesson, you know. I never really paid attention. Well, I did pay attention, but I wasn't good enough at it. So I researched whatever. I researched things that just sounded cool, but I didn't respect that some of the technologies actually depend on each other, and you only benefit from certain technologies when you research the correct, neighboring technologies. And then I've started watching some other people, I've started to learn things, and then the last stream I did, I realized I fucked it up again. So I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to do a better job this time. But that's how you learn, right? What is actually the next thing? Finishing up submarine engineering, installation strikes. That's very good. And I think I have to be careful with research and production this time. I really have to think about things because I increased the difficulty. So if this isn't, if this doesn't end, if this isn't supposed to end in a complete disaster, I have to pay attention. Should also pay attention to these decisions and laws, because it's annoying if you forget to increase your IC for half a year. And we're wasting IC again. It's a very nice problem to have, provided we can get in the raw materials. So gonna have to keep track of the planes here. So 3 ground attack, that will give complete air fleet. What about the fighters? They will complete 1. With the 2 wings of naval bombers, I'll complete 1 air fleet of naval bombers. I usually like to have 2 air fleets, each type at least. And fighters are more important at the moment, so I will need them to defend my my industry against the inevitable strategic bombing. So we'll just start constructing an additional wing of interceptors. We boosted our IC by about almost 100 within a year. I think we'll keep building IC until we crack the next level of international status. And Yugoslavia starts aligning itself. I will have to take a look at diplomacy on the Balkans soon. And this is January 1st of 1937, so I'm going to go for a quick late lunch, so to say, and I'll be back in about an hour. Thank you very much for stopping by, Uderman. I'll see you soon.